And Mike didn't go to the skies. There could have easily been a Horus chase down there, but didn't know the timer on Kana's TP. Hey, if Wukong shows up, we're in trouble. Does get the Aegis from Darda. Should have plenty of damage to just turn on the Kiermi here. I'm really shocked he even tried to chase that down.
Snoopy collapsing now. The entire squad of the Dragons are here. And there anything probably else along with the Terry probably get a kill. Feels like Horus, at least fundamentally in lane, acts almost the same as a Terra, but yet to be more so in range as opposed to having a little bit of that distance to play with.
Yeah, I think the CC is just easier to hit as well, right? Horus doesn't have to commit too much. It's much more instant than the long, drawn-out abilities from Terra, so still a very potent engage here for the Jade Dragons. Kiermi came over, grabbed that shield buff, so there's a reason that the Gilded Gladiators have played this pressure, right? They have pressure in lane, they've been clearing this faster, sort of letting Vote and PBM sit back. Loop goes through. Mike should have the dash to get out of trouble if he needs it, so not too much aggression happening. But at the very least, lane's going fine, right? I think the purple buffs were a big issue for the Gilded Gladiators last game. Kiermi sort of came over for some ganks, but was never able to find success, and because of that, wasn't able to help out and say, Stu, hey, I'll be at your purple buff spawn, I'll help you out on the left side of the map. Kiermi, you've spent a lot of time just sort of on the right side of the map once that duo lane was gone. So this time, has an avenue to try and find aggression, right? Vote, sure, very safe, but doesn't have access to airstrike, so it's still gankable for the time being.
We'll see if we'll get one of those ganks. Kiermi, he's going to lose out on his speed buff from a rotation from Lazra. Takes that one away. What can Kiermi get in response? Well, he secures his own blue, and now it's Snoopy taking a whole lot of damage. Might not even be able to save his own green buff. Pull back, not enough damage. Mike and Dardes able to steal not just one buff, but Lazra stealing two of his own, while Kiermi, I believe, didn't even get a chance to steal the blue away from Nika. He's got his sitting around his waist right now. In fact, used the ultimate to go in against Kana. It gets a lot of damage, but still early. Only tier 1 defense items for the both of them. Not really a whole lot of kill pressure just yet.
Yeah, maybe wanting to force out the ultimate, but Kana didn't quite have the mana and didn't really care, right? There wasn't a need for Somersault Cloud. Bellona doesn't have too much solo potential off that ultimate, and Kana recognized that one and just walked away slowly. But I did like the idea from Lazra. You trust your own soul laner to be able to grab blue, which because Nika's had some good pressure was able to do so. And then you take away the speed and the red buff from the Gilded Gladiators because to Kiermi's knowledge, there's no one over here, right? You assume that Lazra's going to be on that blue like every other jungler in the league would go to. You got to do some different plays every once in a while, especially in a game 2 when you just played, again, 80% of this draft. Already, if you want to do the same things, the Gladiators will be ready for that. Kiermi is heading over though. Still level 4 is PBM. Maybe the target just ticked over to 5. There's no way it comes out here.
Kiermi crashes in, but Mike's already got the ult preemptively fired just in case danger was on the way. Crash back in tier 1 tower, and it's safe and sound duo lane here for the Jade Dragons. Brief pause in the action while we try and get these players back situated for themselves. But Kiermi rotating over to duo lane. We didn't see too much of it, at least in the early first 5 or so minutes of game number 1. Then we started seeing, I think it was around the 10 to 15 minute marks when we saw that big rotation over towards. Almost got a kill onto Mike, but didn't quite do so, and that felt like that was kind of the confidence breaker more than anything for the Gilded Gladiators in game 1. But I want to see Kiermi keep doing this, keep jumping in there, try and go for these ganks. Even if you don't get the kill, you force out an ultimate. For Mike right now, it's really his only resource for safety.
Yeah, I don't mind the continuous ganks. It's just a bit difficult when Mike is there. If that's just Vote, forcing out airstrikes, so much more impactful, right? You don't really need to the skies as a Horus in this stage of the game. Your dash, your heal is going to get you out of trouble more often than not. It's the airstrike, right? That's what you want to go for. You want to try and gank Vote if possible. It's not easy. In fact, I think his time is probably better spent elsewhere. But we've already seen, we've had a good view of what's going on between Nika and Kana. It's a whole lot of nothing, right? There's not much kill potential. You're not forcing any ultimates. You don't even have that much engage. As long as Eagle's Rally is available, Kiermi's not going to head over there. You can just disarm Volcanic Lightning, and that's annoying. So I can see why pressure is on duo side. It's just not going to be easy as long as it is a true duo lane. Once it becomes just ADCs in that lane, Kiermi has a better time ganking.
It really feels like it should be maybe towards mid, though. Because, I mean, you look back in game number 1, it's Dardes free casting for 7, almost 8 kills before he's finally killed, and it took a 3-man dive on a Dardes beyond at the, or I should say at the Gladiator's own Phoenix. They had to go outside of their way just to get that 1 kill on the Dardes, but that was the only kill they were able to get that fight. So I would imagine maybe from Kiermi, go towards mid. Would that be a viable option for him, or is a Raijin even at this stage a bit difficult to gank for a Pele?
It's just so difficult because that lane is so short, right? That's the big difference maker. If you're in position, you should not be dying in mid unless you're just getting like 3-man dope. However, there is a caveat, and that is what we saw Snoopy do many times that game, and it was get caught rotating, right? When you get caught in the jungle as a mid laner, you're a sitting duck 9 times out of 10, and that's what could happen. Ward near mid, ward near some of these mid camps, and then wait to see if Dardes puts himself out of position. Yeah, he can thunder crash or lightning crash over the wall, but as long as you have your knockup, that's not going to be a big deal. Pulling his ult doesn't really matter as long as you're able to save that CC immunity for the last shot. The fears and the taunts aren't going to help you survive. There is definitely still ways for the Kill the Gladiators to kill this Raijin. It's just going to have to happen near the jungle fight. It's not too much in lane.
We'll see if the Gladiators can find those picks that they need. Jake uses the wall to try and keep Vote out of the fight. Or maybe just missed grabbing Vote inside and trap that wall to try and get that airstrike out. With Mike's ultimate down, maybe now a pick on a Dardes. Kiermi immediately blinks, catches him off the Thunder Crash, up into the ultimate, doesn't even get an opportunity to do it. Kiermi does exactly as you call for, Charlie. A pick inside the jungle, and that's first blood for the Glads.
Yep, wait for the mid camps, go for the gank. Picture perfect, even save the volcanic lightning, just like I said. If you're gonna be taunted or feared away, you're gonna need to immune that CC with the gank. But look at this, Stu ends up getting aggressive and takes a lot more damage than he deals. Here comes that Valkyrie's Discretion, and it's just gonna be a double down of trading the ADC ultimates. But big difference maker, Stu beats. Volt held on to those beats, he didn't care. He was able to dash out of the whoop, no problem. But now Stu has no beads and no ult. Lasper said, I'll be right there. I'll be coming to duo lane.
Lasper spots out Kiermi in the jungle. Tries to trade a couple of shots for him. Kiermi will head back to base shortly. Speaking on the solo lane though, Nika's been getting the better end of these trades, in lane at least. As he does have that full Berserker shield now stacked up. Working on his gooseberries to make his clear even easier. Which is already not a difficult time as a Bellona to begin with. Kana's just struggling at least to box out against Nika in lane, but assuming that the lane continues at this pace, Kana should be fine into his matchup. I think the concern for me, or I should say the concern for Kana from me in game 1, was that once he rotated over and with how fed Dardes was at that time, didn't feel like he was super tanky. Now maybe making some of those adaptations just in case he has to make an early gank.
Yeah, that's a big difference maker. If you're not worried about one particular carry when you make those rotations and you just build sort of globally for everyone, your job as a solo laner becomes so much easier. So at the moment, no one's too fed for Kana to deal with. In fact, hitting level 9 means the solo laners are going to be the most fed on the map currently. To keep our eyes on Snoopy and Dardes just to make sure that sort of continues. But Dardes' Taiko drums is already back up, so Kiermi's gank has run its course, but getting that extra gold online, right, still helps. Kiermi gets off to a decent start. Remember, Lasper was stealing away so much farm. He actually still has that XP lead, but first blood can go a long way. That extra gold bounty will help Kiermi sort of increase his build, which Pele really does need that extra damage. And remember last game, that gank actually got dropped because of no anti-heal. Kiermi ended up in Soul Eater. Already made the adaptation. Second item, no doubt that's going to be a Brawler's Beat Stick. Wants to make sure that Mike and Lasper's healing, even what Nika's able to sustain with, is going to be dealt with early on.
Now Mike and Vote spot out Jake. Trying to use the totems to block a couple of shots. Not going to get too much damage on him yet. Mike immediately going to try and caravan taxi his team out, but Kiermi's already shown up. It's going to be the 3 versus 2. Volcanic Lightning in. Vote gets to the sky just in time. And Dardes waiting off to the side, whoops off the mark. Mike finds the knock on to Kiermi, who's losing a lot of health. Dardes crashes in, but he doesn't go for the ultimate. Snoopy's now on the way. Maybe a spot out there, but feels like that could have just been a kill potential for Dardes.
I mean, yeah, the fear was he knew for a fact Snoopy was coming, but I don't think Snoopy is going to be able to 100-0 you before you shoot 2 Taiko drum shots, cancel it, and run. That seemed like an opportunity to go for a kill, but maybe the foresight was we're going to fight after the fact. Want to keep that ultimate just in case. Either way, Dardes holds on to the Taiko drums for now. Mike should be able to peel for Dardes here, make sure no more CCs comes through, and then dash out, assume there's no more DPS. But actually, Lasper blinks in. Look at that, Fear's back in. Jeremy's in some trouble.
It's back. Jeremy goes down. Dardes gets one, and Vote's now on the scene. Dashes aggressively into Awesome Jake, who's slowed down by Dardes, and Vote gets the last in hand. It's the Jade Dragon to immediately turn the 1 kill from the Glads into 2 for themselves.
And that's what you save the Taiko drums for. Dardes says, you guys really thought I was ulting just to kill Kirmi? No, I wanted to kill Kirmi and Awesome Jake a couple seconds later, and it ends up working out. Even Nika teleporting in to help out. Definitely going down here is Snoopy, but can he get the kill with the burn damage? No, Dardes baits that one out perfectly.
Lasper there to make sure Dardes lives at the end. Kana,
no blink.
Can he find a sneaky kill? If you highlight no blink, means not much of an opportunity without giving up a lot of your HP to do so. Instead, Kana will be able to steal away the red buff. He'll take his time stealing away the red buff. Not a whole lot of damage in hand just yet for the Sun Wukong, but is able to remove the buff from play for the time being. So Dardes missing out on that extra damage burst, but Kana doing what he can to try and support his team to try and keep the enemies down. Because once again, Dardes off to an early start for himself. 2-1-1 on the Raijin, and already getting a small lead up against Snoopy.
Yep, Snoopy. It's going to take a while to get online. Didn't go for that Book of Thought start. Actually, just went for the Chronos Pendant. So has plenty of CDR. Not so much DPS just yet. He's more so there to clear, there to farm, and group up later on. I'm surprised, given the way that the Jade Dragons have been playing pretty much this entire week so far. How much they've been showing us. You'd think a Gold Fury pull would have been inevitable at this point. Maybe because Nika teleported in and didn't find anything, they're kind of playing back a bit. But they've got pressure, they've got the gold lead, they've got about as much damage you could really want this early on. And not even an attempt towards the Fury, more so just Gold Fury, fights near the Gold Fury. Awesome Jake has been poked out a few times in this exact corridor. But look at Mike. How did he get so far behind for the wraparound? Oh yeah, because he's taking away a red buff with Dardes. They recognize that Kana stole theirs, and they said, hey, I know exactly where to go where you can find another one of those.
It's pinpointed on the map for us. Highlighted big bold with a big old red indication for it as well. Lasbrug doing what he can to maybe try and steal a green. Doesn't get it this time. Jake thankful that he's able to hold on to an extra buff of his own. And vision around the Gold Fury does go to the Gladiators. We're able to at least get those Oracle Harpies, so they'll know if the Dragons try and pull this, but the Dragons don't care about the Fury. It's all about the fighting for them so far. Stun doesn't connect onto Mike until just now. Tremored in place, but as long as somebody from the Dragons is nearby, Mike always has a way out.
Maybe the end of it. That's the thing, the Jade Dragons, as you said, the vision, I guess, is their big issue. You know you were able to poke out Awesome Jake a bit. You know that Mike had to go back to base. Picks up the CAD Club. I'm wondering what's going to be the big indicator that starts this Gold Fury pull. Because in my mind, sure, the beacon spawning in and the Jade Dragon's going to grab that one for absolute free. Maybe it's just the timer on Nika's teleport. If in 22 seconds he does an upgrade and head over, I'll be shocked. Again, this is not, oh, it's the freest Gold Fury ever. It just fits the MO of what the Jade Dragons have been wanting to do. And in fact, it's the Gladiators who go for the first pull.
Mike is on the way. We'll see if the Jade Dragons can hold this one back for the moment. Wow, never mind. Mike walks up and that's just enough. Thought for a moment the Gladiators would hold on to it, see if they could maybe burn it down, see who else shows up, but Mike on the scene is just enough to keep the Gladiators away from the objective. But it is strange, you know, and I'm glad you bring it out, is that you have the Dragons. You have a comp that should work well around it. You have a Bellona who built Shogun's Kasari, great around your ADC. But it's the Gladiators who were the first ones to try and pull anything.
And that's the thing. Nika proxied the wave, went back about a full Oni Hunter's garb, and did not upgrade that teleport. So that tells you the Jade Dragons just aren't feeling it, right? I'm guessing the comms are something along the lines of, hey, our late game is going to be better. We're confident no matter what. Let's not play it too bad. It's a beautiful whoop there. Stave Stu having a beat and actually intercept some good damage on Devote. Stu has no idea who's behind him though. Here comes Lasbra.
Oh, but Lasbra missed the back. Gets the Screech. Has the leap for the extra damage. Needs the full ultimate and maybe a little bit more. But with one Aegis to immune the first swipe, Lasbra not able to get that kill on the Stu. But he does get the Aegis, a valuable resource from the Hunter. Well, Nika's just going to keep doing this up against Kana the entire game through. Waiting to see when that teleport does get activated for him. when it gets leveled up, I should say. See when Nika will start getting involved with the rest of the squad. Kirmi, volcanic lightning, misses everybody, and instead will now have to back away as Tier 1 tower is knocked down by Vote.
Yep, Tier 1. Might as well throw the Purple Puff in there as well. And this has got to be the call. I mean, it needs to be a Fury pull, or else the Jade Dragons are playing way too passive. Finally, this is a little bit overdone, but again, I think they're playing this one safe. Should be absolutely free. Jade does not have a blink, so he's not going to be able to close gap in time. The Jade Dragons. This one's common collective, J-Mac. They're going for guaranteed 100% plays, which I do think, considering how many objectives we've seen stolen over the years, makes complete sense. The Gilded Gladiators have the knowledge of, hey, there's no one around, so we'll grab that second place prize, that Pyromancer, and go ahead and give that bomb over to Kirmi. So not all bad things for the Gilded Gladiators, but the Jade Dragons have shown they can step forward, find some poke, at least show face in the jungle. The Gladiators are not going to look to fight. They are going to run.
So now where do the Jade Dragons go? Pyromancer was grabbed by the Gladiators, so at least gives them a little bit of pressure around an objective, potentially. Because they are kind of lacking burst. It feels like we haven't really ever come back to a true burst meta, or a real objective secure style of mage pick. For a moment there. Stu trying to get aggressive against Bo, but the benefit of the Jing Wei, being able to dash out that banish. Get a pretty good distance, but Bo, watch out behind you. It's the barrel stuff now for Kirmi as he dives in, but is able to get an airstrike. Will get Vote away. PBM just waiting for someone to walk up so he can go back for the heal, but he might just be going back in for the aggression. Not as good on Jake. Nika dives in, and Lasper standing by. The Jade Dragons have not given up their fight just yet. With some low health bars on their side, a couple will head back to base.
I'm surprised again. This time, you know what? I think this was a heads-up play. Maybe Nika didn't recognize if Kana's teleport was down, but Nika did teleport in. It was a clear 5v4. Kana was in the middle of proxying, and Mike didn't go to the skies. There could have easily been a Horus chase down there, but didn't know the timer on Kana's TP. Hey, if Wukong shows up, we're in trouble. Does get the Aegis from Darda. Should have plenty of damage to just turn on the Kirmi here. I'm really shocked he even tried to chase that down.
Snoopy collapsing now. The entire squad of the Dragons are here, and they're able to pick up 2 kills. I think what happened, Charlie, at least from what I noticed, there was a ward at the top side of mid, so I think Kana was trying to get in, but I don't think anybody actually knocked out the ward. I think the timer expired on it, so Kana wasn't able to rotate in. Now he's going to have to try and defend this Fire Giant by himself alongside Jake now, who's joined the party. But it's a 17 Wukong and a 12 Crack. They've got to do a lot of damage right now to get it. They don't steal it away. And instead, it could be a collapse onto Jake. Lasbro chasing down, waiting for the rest of the squad to go through. Knockups there by Mike, surrounded and knocked away. Dardes with the kill, Dragons with 6 on the board.
And again, finally there's some pressure onto Dardes, but I want you to look at the levels. Kirmi decides 4 levels down. Now's the time to try and haul in Dardes. He gets him to 10% HP, but you're never finding that kill. If you catch out Dardes at level 5 in that exact same situation, easiest kill of your life. Heck, even if you're 1 level down. But 4? It's just not enough. At this point, Dardes is going to 1v1 you every single time, and luckily the team was there for Peel as well. Kirmi unfortunately finds that opportunity too little too late, and now we're at a 17-minute Fire Giant where the Jade Dragons have it on all 5. They can just pick apart this map as slowly as they would like, as long as it's in the next 3 minutes. Looks like Nika is just trying to stop backs while his team is able to group back up, finish up some much-needed power spikes, and look towards these left and right tier 2 towers that are still standing.
Jade Dragons.
They're going to try and kill Nika. This is not going to be easy.
This is going to take a while. Knockup is there. Stewart trying to chase down. Stewart misses the whoop, and now Nika's going to turn and burn right back. Eagles rally in the middle of both of them. Kirmi is losing out on this trade now with Lasbro nearby. This one could go south fast for the Gilded Gladiator. He's got to get out of dodge as quick as you can. Lasbro jumps up to the sky as Stewart and Snoopy now both on the run. For the frontliners of the Gladiators trying to close their way back in. Vote is out of position. He's got airstrike though. Quickly gets out. The Taiko drums from Dardes, but now with Mike crashing back in, the whoop only saves Stu for a moment, but it won't save Jake, and it might not save the rest of the Gladiators. Jake pops the shell. And under the tier 1 tower, it's still not safe enough. Dive from Dardes and Nika. Snoopy is out of resources and nearly out of time. The pull slows things down. The flicker is there. The Dardes doesn't have enough range. And Snoopy just barely makes out of the fight.
But here comes a wave. There should be a tier 2 tower going down at the very least. All the while, Kirmi is just split pushing. There's not going to be a Pele at this right side. Phoenix, he doesn't hurry up. Just now channels the back, but he cancels it. He's not going to be here, J-Mag. The J-Dragons are 5v2 for quite some time.
Nika dives to the back line. Snoopy flickers away fast. Kana's on the cloud, and Kirmi is closing in. Gas Nika flows. Nika down. Kana shuts him out, and Mike falls to Stewart, who's up in the Valkyrie's discretion. Can they keep the chase up? 5 versus 3, half health on most. The Gilded Gladiators will at least rest on the 2 kills they picked up.
Yeah, I mean, Kana plays that one perfectly. Immediately blinks to the back line, goes up into the somersault cloud, and stalls for his team. Kirmi does the same. Goes in, makes sure to stop that Phoenix siege immediately, and thanks to the team spawning in at the right moment, they were able to find those picks onto Mike and Nika and keep their right side bird alive. Possibly biting off a bit more than they could chew, the J-Dragons. They felt confident. I would have as well. I mean, Kirmi was on the map saying, hey, there's only going to be 2 people here. But not easy to burn through a Wukong with ultimate underneath a Phoenix. Because of that, it stalled out just a bit too long, and the J-Dragons does a good portion of that Fire Giant push. They still have some time to go for this Primal Fury, pull the Pyromancer as well. The J-Dragons are not done trying to get gold in their pockets. But remember, J-Mag, that's a 17-minute FG. You're not breaking the Phoenixes anyways this early on. You're just trying to keep pushing that gold in your favor. Minus the one hiccup. Still sitting just fine at this point.
6,000 gold up for the Jade Dragons. The lead not as staggering as it was in game 1. But still the level of confidence and control from the Dragons, matching what they had in the game prior. Furious respawn. The Jade Dragons immediately head over that way, but now it's the Gilded Gladiators to try and answer back. Jake is near. But even with Vote and Mike there, just seeing Jake was enough to maybe back them away for the moment. Maybe see if they can go for any kind of a heat check, or maybe wonder if there's a ward nearby. There is one for the Gladiators sitting inside of the pit. The Primal Fury down to half HP. Jade Dragons will get this one. Doesn't seem the Gladiators want to step up to try and stop it.
Goes down to 3. Right as Fire Giant spawning back in. About as good as timing as you could make. But the Jade Dragons are sticking around. I was wondering if they were just getting one more wave or if they were actually going to push up for the tier 2 tower. The Gladiators also nearby. Wouldn't have been free by any means. So that's not the call. Jade Dragons get to walk up. Go in for a free pull at the very least. But will they be contested is the question. It's not like the gold lead is unwinnable, right? I think the Gilded Gladiators still do have ways to try and fight back into this. Percentage pen online for Snoopy. The Soul Reaver's not quite there, but still this Merlin is doing some decent damage. Stewart has 3 rings, so as far as I'm concerned, is doing enough damage to call himself a late game Freya. He does need one more before he's really feeling confident, but does plenty of DPS if given the opportunity to just auto attack. But the Fire Giant is touched down, and Kana and Stu are on the left side of the map, so we may be looking at one more soft defense, like maybe Awesome Jake walks up for a steal, but it doesn't seem like the Gladiators are going to be going for this FG anytime soon. Jade Dragons are just setting up, though. They haven't made their pull either.
Jade Dragons just now touching down in the pit. Mike and Nika started up. Foden Dardes on the way for DPS, but as you said, Gilded Gladiators not even going to try and defend this one. Oh, Nika tried to go back for a teleport, but the knockup actually stopped him. That was just enough of a scare because they saw the teleport indication, and the Gladiators did. And both Stewart and Snoopy, they said, okay, well, I was about to say Kirmi was actually the one up there. He and Stu saw the teleport. They said, okay, well, he's on the way. We're going to leave. Didn't stick around to realize that, oh, wait, hold on. It disappeared for a moment, but with Lazar on the scene, no chance they keep pushing in.
Yeah, you end up saving your cooldown then, because Lazar backed anyways. I mean, Nika now has the TP. If he gets poked out on the first attempt at this Phoenix, he can back up, teleport back in. Ends up being a big brain knockup.
Huge brain.
Maybe they did it on purpose. Nika said, wait, drag it over here. Mike, stop my teleport. I'm not trying to go over there, actually. And it ends up working. Now, remember, last game, around this time, the Jade Dragons were in a position to end, but the Titans had left, so they couldn't go in for the end call. The game stalled out a bit longer. Now they're going to be able to push up with Fire Giant, with their Titan, and that could be an extra siege tool because that left side tier 2 is still up. That Phoenix is going to start swinging. Look at Mike's build. He has a lot of mitigations, yeah, but physical defense for the Phoenix, not so much. This is not something you want to make a habit out of tanking, especially 23 minutes into the game with 3 items and an upgraded starter item on Horus. It's going to do some damage. And that's where Nika's teleport can really come in clutch. If he is able to tank up the Phoenix, get some damage, back up, retreat, and then teleport back in at full HP, your siege goes a lot better.
Like will start, but you can already see with 3 in hands. Or 3 tower shots, I should say. Put him down to about a quarter HP, heals a bit back up. From the nature of being a Horus, having that in-hit heal. Kana got some good poke of his own on this Wukong. Really done a number to Lasbra's HP so far with the help. Maybe a Phoenix shot or 2 with Kirby standing by. The Jade Dragons now have to stare down the mobile Titan of the Gladiators. Mike dashes in, doesn't get the stun he was looking for. Will back away and work towards the Titan's HP bar, which doesn't feel like it's much of a Titan compared to the Jade Dragons. They knock that one down, send it back to base. It'll be a moment before theirs is able to arrive on the scene.
Yeah, their Titan's slowly walking over. I wonder if the Jade Dragons do a 3-2 split with the Titan, though. That's probably your best call. Or no minions go all the way over to right side Phoenix. The Gladiators, they know this is happening. They're already there.
Kana and Kirby, but Kirby misses the Volcanic Lightning's initial hit. But Zayla has to be forced out of this one. Kana dives to the back against 4, but it's an Eagles rally from Nika and a couple of shots from Vote to knock him away quickly. Lasbra, though, low on HP, healed up a bit by Mike. He's sent back into the jungle. A lot of lifesteal built into Lasbra's items, though. You wouldn't believe that he was just at 200 HP a moment ago. Will now rejoin the team.
There we go. Now the Titan can push in. You've got an extra pick. This right side Phoenix is a lot easier to try and grab. This one barely should be going down. The question is, can they get 2 Phoenixes in the process? Nika and Lasbra just get to walk forward onto Snoopy. Maybe you do get 2 Phoenixes, but it's not the ones you'd expect. Mid and right go down. All the while, someone still has to deal with the Titan.
Yeah, Kirby can't really tank this one up for himself, but he sure is. He's taking so much damage from it. He's got to be careful. Remember, the Titan leaves Kirby. It's hitting you and the bird at that point. No need to stand in front of it. But it is right side and mid Phoenix. Runic Bomb from Lasbra helps him take down the mid bird. The rest of the Jade Dragons take away the right one, and we're now staring at a 14,000 gold lead for the Jade Dragons. Nearly as dangerous as it was in game number 1. And Trelly for the Gladiators, I mean, where is their defense at this point? Well, what silver lining do they have against the Jade Dragons this late in?
Yeah, even grouped up there when the teleport play did not go as planned. We do see the teleport in from Kana. Lasbra's in the back line. This is going to be a bit of a weird fight because look how many Jade Dragons are in the base. Lasbra does have Bat Out of Hell, so could be out. He doesn't get CC'd. This is a bait, though. The Jade Dragons are eventually going to fight this. Lasbra's job is to just stall as long as possible.
Bat Out of Hell, he can do just that. Kirby's the only one separated from the team. He might get spotted out and caught out here. Ultimate in from Mike. Will only bring himself and Nika, but those 2 are just enough damage. Nika tries to chase out, but doesn't get the stun. Now it's Mike in with quad and knockup from Vote. Are you kidding me? The damage he's able to put out. Dardes will crash right in and crash the party. That's 1 for him and 1 for his teammate. 2 Glads down, and all 3 on the runs of mid to escape the onslaught of the Dragons.
The Fire Giant buff is gone, but the Jade Dragons are not. 1 Runic Bomb is going to get the last Phoenix off the map. Do they have the damage to go in for an end call 5v3? They're going to try.
Kirby's got to do a lot of heavy lifting, but he doesn't have ultimate to do so. Nobody on the Gladiators has ult to defend. Kirby goes to the back line, but he's going to be immediately collapsed on. He can't even take down Dardes. He needs the help from Kana to do so. That might be enough to stall out, but the Titan is getting low. Lasbra and Vote pick up another couple of kills, and yet another Titan falls. The Jade Dragons up 2-0.
4 kills again. I think that was how many they got last time. The Gilded Gladiators find some legs in their last defense, but not able to find those early picks in the early game. Unfortunate. They're just not finding that actual comp that's working for them so far. I think a lot has been going well, but a lot has been not working, J-Mac, and that's been a big issue for me. Especially letting the Jade Dragons run back 4 out of 5 picks from last game.